Hi, I'm Natalie, and today's tutorial, I am walking you through the Plover Pouch size large. We have a kit available for you in a boxed set like this. So if you wish to purchase that, you can choose pattern included or pattern not included. And just so you know, Anna Graham, the designer, does have her own tutorial for you as well in case you want to watch that. But so many of you asked me to do it that I thought, okay, let's do this. So I'm going to take you overhead. We have two color fabric options available. And so I'm going to be making the purple one because it reminds me of my mom. I've already cut my pieces out and this is what I have left. Just so you know, there's plenty of fabric here, even if you're not super careful. I will be using purple mesh with the FOE fold over elastic and So Hungry Hippie zipper tape with a pull. We also, as you know, include in our kits the interfacing that you need. So you literally don't need anything else to make this pouch. And again, I'll be making size large, but of course that's enough material if you prefer to make a medium or a small as well. Okay, and if I didn't say it already, because Ramel will remind me, these kits are available at sohungryhippie.com. All you have to do is either look at the kits collection or search Plover Pouch. Okay, let me move my excess fabric out of the way. So you can cut yours out however you wish. I do suggest planning your layout first to make sure you have enough fabric for what you want. However, there is a beauty in just cutting things out, even if the sides and the bottom and the top aren't the same fabric. It's okay. We've coordinated these fabrics so they'll work any which way. So I'll take you overhead really quick. I've decided to cut out this fabric for my accent as well as my lining. And so that meant that some of my pieces will also be this, such as the base on the outside. So let's just get through this and everything is fine. Here's the main body piece. As you can see, this is my lining. I still have to press it. And this is the exterior. Now on this pattern piece, there is a dotted line here that we're going to fold down. And we need to cut our mesh. So we're cutting it on the fold, folded down to that dotted line. And I like making it so that I can utilize that straight bottom. And then I'm gonna curve up here and go straight across. So now I have the piece that I need for the mesh pocket on the inside. Okay, in the pattern, which you may have the PDF, or if you bought the kit, you'll have the paper. Just review these cutting instructions and make sure that with a pencil or a pen, you mark off everything that you need cut. Because a lot of times it's frustrating when you go to grab a piece and you didn't cut it out. I've been there. I still do it. She has suggested cutting layouts in case you need that. I usually don't follow those, but do as she says. Okay. Sewing instructions, here we are. So throughout this pattern, it's a 1/2 inch seam allowance unless stated otherwise. So I'm not gonna keep repeating that. I'll just keep it in my mind. You keep it in your mind. If you need to write it in red ink somewhere on the pattern or a post-it on your machine, please do. Okay, I like to set my instructions up here and I need to interface. So as per usual, I'll be fusing my interfacing on the overhead camera with my ironing mat on top of my cutting mat. Please don't iron on top of your cutting mat. I do this for the camera only. Don't email me about it. Okay, here we go. This is our SF 101. And you know what? It would help if I cut it out first. So let's do exterior panels. Let me find my pattern piece. Sometimes what I'll do is lay out my SF 101, depending on how big your work table is. It can be rather nice, even though this isn't the fabric that I'm using SF101 on, it can be nice to lay these out and sort of utilize the straight edges as much as you can. So those two are almost kissing. Let me just, no, it's too tight. Let me do it this way. See how I'm using that straight edge and this straight edge? And I wonder if I can fit a zipper panel in here. Yes, I can. Love it when that works out. So now I'm gonna cut this down just so it's easier for me to cut. And I do like cutting with the blade to the right of the fabric, but sometimes when I'm filming, I have to cut in a way I would not normally just because it's awkward with the camera. Okay, I'm gonna use that straight edge and this straight edge. Now, you can also grab a ruler, your acrylic ruler, and use it to help you cut out. Very slick. See that? Just be sure not to cut into your other fabric. Okay, so now I'll just round this corner. I need to turn this. Now, I gotta say something here because I'm already thinking it in my head. A lot of times patterns tell us to interface the fusible fleece on the exterior fabric. This is my exterior. But I will tell you from personal experience, a lot of times that leaves dimples on the fabric when the bag is done. And I really don't like that. So I'm gonna flip mine, okay? I'm gonna do SF101 on the exterior and fusible fleece on my lining. So then the body still, the bag, the pouch still has that needed structure, but I'm not gonna risk having dimpling on the exterior fabric. You can do whatever you like. Okay, before I get any further ahead, I am going to fuse those down. I like to start looking at the fabric, starting in the center and pushing outwards. I'm on high heat. I do a quick little prelim press like this, and then I make sure it's fused. And it doesn't really take long at all. I do have some edges here that I need to clean up, and I'll worry about that in a minute. First things first. And just a quick refresher, if you're new here, this is the bumpy side where the glue is. I'm gonna start in the middle and push out. This also makes the fabric a lot easier to work with and to sew. Yeah, it's that one. Here are the zipper, one of the zipper panels. I still have to cut the other piece. If you want to, you can always go from the back too. Up to you. I'll clean those edges up in a hot minute. Let's cut our other zipper panel piece. I'm using Anna Maria fabric here. I think this is the Iconic line, if I remember correctly. Okay, let's see what else we need to cut out for interfacing. Let's do our bottom. Actually, this is going to be my exterior bottom. So I could, let's see. We're giving you plenty of interfacing in this baby. So if you need to double up anywhere because of preference, you'll be able to. That's that piece. I need to do my side panels. So I'm going to fold this so I can cut 2 at one time. I'm going to use that straight edge right there. And I don't throw away these scraps because I do Frankenstein it and use the scraps later on in other projects. If you don't know what I mean, you can watch my Franken foam YouTube video where I'm doing that with foam. This interfacing is expensive, but it does make the project look so much better. Again, I'll clean up these edges. We're just getting it done right now. All right. So I think that's good for the exterior. So now we need to cut our fusible fleece. That's this. And fuse it to the lining. But first I'm going to press these pieces a bit. If you press your fabrics, it's just easier to work with. All right, let's cut these out. Here's the base. Here's one of the sides. I'm going to use this straight edge there. And I need this one. If you happen to miscut and you feel like you're running out of these pieces, you can always scrap them together. We have batting tape in the shop. I do it all the time. There's that. And remember, you shouldn't be pressing too hard with your blade. If you're pressing really hard, you need to change your blade out. Okay, let's fuse these. Same technique. I don't change a thing. And I'll clean up any edges after the fact. Now that fabric got folded under. There we go. If you get any buildup on your iron that looks brown, it's probably glue. And we have iron cleaning sheets in the shop if you need them. It makes it really fast. I typically do not steam when making a bag. I steam garments sometimes, especially in the shoulder area or the arm side, but not bags. You saw that water drip out of my iron because water's in there. See? But I'm not steaming. All right. Those are fused, and we will trim our edges up in just a second. Now you have an interior zipper pocket. It's up to you if you want to SF 101 this piece or not. I think I'm just gonna iron mine. I don't typically use a lot of zipper pockets on the inside. Unless it's the Santorini tote, those I use. So I don't think I'm gonna waste SF 101 on mine, but I will iron it. The hand is a little stiffer when you iron it. All right, let's get making up this Plover pouch. So step 1 is in a gray bar on page 8, and we're gonna go to letter A. So we're not using a fixed length zipper, we're using zipper by the yard. So let's cut this to 17 inches because we are making the size large. So Hungry Hippie zipper tape looks like metal, but it is not. So you can just cut right through it and we can sew right over it as well. Leave that excess zipper to the side. Now she wants us to remove these coils to make it easier to sew. I'm gonna let you know right now that we really don't have to do that because this is nylon, but I'm gonna do it just in case your machine doesn't like this sort of thing. And I'll take you overhead and show you this. We're going up, we're cutting that, and we're gonna cut the teeth out on that last 7/8 to an inch right there. And that's for making a snap tab later. Okay, now we've got our zipper ends. She does hers a little differently than I do. So let's follow the pattern, trust the process, right? We're gonna fold these short ends in. And press. I'm just going to do both at the same time. So we've got it like this, and now we're going to do like this. If you have to do one side at a time, it's totally okay to do that. And now we're going to take it one more time and fold it over again. if you need to use a glue stick or some double-sided sticky tape to help you hold layers together, that's fine. All right, so now you've got this piece, 2 pieces like this, and that's step B, by the way, where we're folding in all these little things. Now we're going to go to step C, slip one zipper end tab over one zipper tape end. Okay, so we're going to do this. Oh, I better go overhead. Ramel, can you help me out? I better lay it down. So it's going to be like this. We're going to lay this in here to touch that fold and then bring it over like this. I think I did zipper tabs like this on the Iris bag once and never again because it's so fiddly. You want to make sure that all the layers are even so that when we go to sew on top of here, we're catching all layers of fabric. And one thing to be cognizant of is to make sure that top layer is down in there so you have a really nice, neat edge here, okay? I've already got my pull on, so I can also do it for the other side. Okay. So now we are going to sew around that rectangle. All right, I'm going to come in here. I've got my Gutermann thread and my universal 8012 needle. See how this fabric wants to poke out on me? I'm going to nudge it underneath because I don't want that to show. And I'll hold it with my stiletto. I'm going right over the teeth because they're nylon. I'm going to leave my needle down, raise my foot, and come to the side. Lift my foot, the needle is still down. Come down this fold. Needle down, lift my foot. Now this side, see how that underneath wants to poke out a bit? I'm gonna try to nudge it. And we're back to the beginning. Now let's do that again on this side. I like to go across this first so that I know I've caught it and it's not going to move. By the way, I'm just using a gray thread. Needle down, lift my foot, and turn. Needle down, lift my foot, and turn. And there we are. I'll trim my threads now because I know I'll forget later. It's not perfection, but it's close. It's good. All right, so there's my main zipper. So we just did letter D, which was top stitching around these edges. Letter E, press both zipper panel pieces short sides to the wrong side by 1/4 inch. So the zipper panel pieces are these. I'm going to grab my ironing mat again and let's go overhead. I can eyeball 1/4 inch pretty well. You know what would be helpful is if I got, oops, sorry, I slammed that open. These little hem gauges, I love these things. Let's see. Ooh, I did a little too much. You never know with some patterns if it's got to be just spot on, so I need to check myself before I wreck myself. Okay. Now we cut these in half. Scary, huh? I'm gonna give myself a centering crease so I know exactly where my center is. One, two. Three, four. Now we've got 4 zipper panels. And that was F. Okay, now we're going to turn the page. And we are putting the zipper with the zipper panels right now. So this is letter G. With 1 zipper panel right side up, center the zipper right side facing up, with zipper tape aligned to 1 long edge without interfacing. Zipper ends will extend past the zipper panel on both sides. I'm adding words here because I can't read things when they're omitting thus. Michelle made me like that. Okay, so let's go overhead. So we've got a zipper panel here. We're going to place this so those long edges meet. And then guess what else? We lay another zipper panel on top so that the zipper is sandwiched inside of there. You can use pins or clips, whatever is best for you. Okay. So laying this on top is letter H. And now we are going to sew right along here at 1/4 inch seam allowance to catch all those layers. Okay. Make sure your zipper pull is out of the way. You're going to see me moving mine in just a minute. There, I moved it out of the way. If you have a zipper foot, it's even easier. Right? See what's going on here? All right. Okay, we are on letter J. We are going to align these edges and stitch. So on that open edge, we're just basting. The other 3 sides are like a top stitch. So I'm going to take you overhead. Make sure my, oh, that thread, there we go. So I'm going to start down here. And then you're coming up here very close, like 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to move this pole out of the way. And then down this side. Okay, and then along this edge, I'm turning way up to a base, which is a 5mm for me. And that's only to keep it very easy to work with. All right, I'm going to turn my stitch length back down. Go in here. Now, all right, I'm going to press that so it's a little flatter. Sometimes if you baste down here, it wants to scrunch it in if your tension is turned up. So just be aware of that. Just give it a press and it'll be fine. I'm going to trim that. Okay, so now K, we just did that. We basted along the layer. And now L, K, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Yeah, it is an L. Don't judge me. You know you do it too. L, repeat steps G through K with the other zipper panels. Okay. Let's see if I remember what we did here. All right. So right side up. We want to line these up. Here we go. And then right sides down. Matching all those raw edges and the sides are aligned. I'm going to use some clips. Make sure your folded edges are folded inward. I'm going to use a clip there. And then we want these edges to be folded in. And here we go. Let's go sew this. Back down to your usual stitch length. Mine is between 2.5 and 3. Now I'm coming up here, getting close to where my zipper pull is, so you will see me stop and adjust that pull in just a second. Oh, yeah, there it is. I can tell. It wants to bump you out. So. Okay, now we're going to fold this. I am going to use my iron in just a second because it'll be better behaving for me. I had to run an errand in the middle of making this, so I'm a little trying to find my brain again, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna fold these wrong sides together. And then we'll top stitch this. I'm gonna check the back. It's always worth flipping over and checking to make sure you didn't press that fabric into the teeth. I've done it before, so that's why I know about that. All right, let's top stitch this now. Make sure your pieces are folded down there on those short ends. And now we're going to baste here. Okay, take it out. Turn your stitch length back. And I'm going to give both sides a press. Awesome. And there's that. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to step 2. Make the interior mesh pocket. This is optional, but let's do it. We have our mesh, we have our fold over elastic. So part A, attach the fold over elastic to the top edge of the mesh by folding the elastic in half and sandwiching it around. Yeah. So what I like to do, there's a shiny side to this and a matte side. I like the shiny side facing out. So the matte side is facing me right now. And then I'm gonna fold it over and hold it in place with these clips. Now, sometimes this is a little bit annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. It's annoying. So I'm gonna do my trick. I love it. You have to do the top edge and then you wanna do the bottom, the inside edge of your elastic. As long as it's somewhere on there, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it on and then we'll keep going here. See if I can get this lifted, that paper. Yep, there we go. That is super sticky. You can manipulate your mesh. There we go. So it's holding the mesh. Now I'm going to peel the paper off of this side. You have to really press this stuff down or hit it with an iron. I just don't want to because this is polyester mesh. I'm afraid I might melt it. Okay, there we go. I always have better luck in the middle taking that paper off. So now that side is sticky and look what we're gonna do. We're gonna get it just right. And then we know when sewing, it's not gonna move. Ramel must have turned the air on for me when he left. It feels so nice in here. All right, let's sew this down. Perfectly on. Sometimes just one little step technique is worth it for watching the whole video. Okay, Now, we did not stretch the pocket. This mesh will stretch if you cut it in that way. So when you're sewing that, don't be pulling on it, okay? Let the feed dogs do their work. This is B. Place the mesh pocket directly on top of one lining main body piece. So that is my purple. Here we are. Pin in place. Well, we're going to use clips. I like to get these side pieces on first. Then we do this. We're going to sew all the way around. Then I'm going to fold it in half and mark that center crease and sew up the center crease. Now I'm going to sew right up the middle to divide this pocket in half. As you can see, I go over that section many times. Okay, looks good. I can put some stuff in there, put some stuff in there. Okay, step 3, make interior zippered pocket. All right, here's my zipper pocket. Here we go. Part A. We're going to mark a horizontal line 1 inch down from the top. Okay, well, I am going to use chalk so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to use pen so you can see what I'm doing. I was supposed to mark it on the wrong side of the zipper pocket. There we go. Here's my centering mark. There's my zipper. Fabrics are right sides together. You're placing this at that 1.5 inch and centered. Let me check myself before I wreck myself. There we go. Right there. I will use pins on this because I'm afraid of losing placement. Okay, we're gonna sew on this all the way around. We've done this so many times together. You probably know what we're doing here, this zipper pocket window. Now I am going to turn down my stitch length to 1.5 right in that corner, and then back up to a 2. And now I turn it back down, just so these corners are nice and tight. And we have really clean, crisp corners. Okay, now back up to 2. And back down. All right. Now take out the pins. Now, if you're comfortable, you can use your rotary. If not, draw your center line and use your scissors. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Clip right up to that stitching line, but not through it on the ends. All right. We're gonna push it through. I'm gonna grab my ironing mat. I really need to get my my Ironmatic mat back. I lent it out and I need it back. Okay, I'm just gonna press this. It's easier if we can get this pressed. A lot of times I go back and forth, but I like to sort of lick my fingers. I know that's gross, but it helps to grab those fabrics and give us a really clean finish. So I'm gonna press from the front and then I'll flip it over and press from the back. I just don't want any, I don't know, I don't want my fabric showing. A lot of times it does, and I figure, well, good enough, but I want to get it as close as I can, you know? Sometimes I tug on this down here a little bit. See how clean that bottom is? That bottom edge. Same for this one. I'm going to kind of tug it. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. You know what's next. Now, is my zipper long enough? Ooh, just barely. Good. You better cut that zipper precisely, folks. Make sure your pull is on. I put my pull on with my zipper jig, or did it behind the scenes. You know what we're doing. I'm going to take both sides off. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna place it so that everything's good. Don't worry, I'll pull that pull through. I just want the placement correct right now. So we've got a little bit of zipper tape on each end. We're not too short. Woo! There we go. Now you guessed it. We're gonna sew all the way around that box, and you will have to sort of push these guys under, give them a little pull, what have you. I'm going to do it when I'm at the machine and just hold that guy in place. There we go. You can start wherever you want to. Okay, I'm going to turn. My needle is down. I'm going to grab my stiletto. I'm going to push that fabric under, hold it. There we go. Yeah. Lift the foot. We're coming down this edge now. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get this pull out of my way because it's just only going to be a problem. There we go. If you have a zipper foot on, you don't have to move anything. There we go. Back up this side. And back down. And we're back to where we started. Trim your threads. So now it's in. We've still got the back looking like this. So we're going to fold that pocket up next, I assume. Yes, we are. H, we're working from the wrong side, and we're going to fold our interior pocket up. You see that? You're going to want to pull it away. We're going to fold the body of the main body out of the way, and you're going to sew this down. Let's do the top first, because as long as we get that right, we can get everything else right. Here we're coming down to the side. I'm just going to keep my needle down. I'm lifting the body out of the way. My tape grabbed on here. I just got to pull that out so that my pocket isn't all bow guarded. There we go. Make sure you're not sewing over the zipper pull or anything. And now we're going to do the other side. See that? Make sure the pull is out of the way. I'm going to start from the bottom of the pocket and sew up. You can slow down at the teeth. It's okay. I still do. And now we've got a functioning pocket. Put all kinds of goodies in there. Isn't that cute? I'm just going to give it a quick press. Everything looks better with pressing. Never skip on the pressing. Oh, I just love this color of purple. Isn't it so pretty? Okay. We get to turn the page. Page 14, step 4. Make gussets and attach to the main panels. Yes, we are getting there. Okay, so place the accent base right sides together with one accent side panel. Okay, we can do all that, but which one are we doing? Lining or main? Doesn't say. I guess we're gonna do the lining first. Let's go. The two fleecy ones are my linings. Maybe we'll just do should we do the exteriors at the same time? So she's talking about the exterior because I just flipped ahead and saw that she then says repeat for the lining. So how about we do it first with the lining so we have a little practice before our exterior? I mean, we can do it. We're sewists. So you're going to take your base and place one gusset, and we're going to sew right there. And then you're going to take the other gusset, place it right sides together, and we're going to sew there. We're going to do the same thing for the exterior. These are my exterior. This is my exterior bottom because I'm fancy. You can use pins or clips, doesn't matter. I'm going to get that one up out of the way. Here we go. Let's go to the machine as soon as I get this out of my way. All right. Let me make sure I'm not, yeah, good. Here's that one. Now let's do the exterior. Remove your pins or clips or what have you. You will now have one long gusset piece. There's my lining, and here's my exterior. Fold the assembled gusset in half, right sides together to find center and mark on both sides of the fold within the seam allowance. Okay, so let's go here. We're folding it in half. I'm going to mark mine with chalk so you can see. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. With chalk, I don't have to worry about being within the seam allowance because it'll just wipe away. So there's that. So now we're going to F, mark the bottom center of both main panels. So let's do this. These are my exterior main panels. And we have to line the gusset up with the center of the main body. So I'm going to mark that. I'm going to mark this. Okay, we're going to match this baby up. Center mark to center mark. I'm going to put a pin. And then you know how I do on the Joni bag? Same thing. Up here. This applies to a lot of different patterns, actually. This technique. It's what I love about sewing. You learn it in one place and then you can apply what you've learned to lots of other things. Lots of other projects. I've had a lot of people tell me they use my method for recessed zipper, the one I use on the Santorini tote. And I just love that. It's what we do. Okay. Now you can imagine we're going to do the same thing for this. We've already got a center mark here. So center to center. And then the tops. And then I kind of ease this in here. And you can definitely use clips if you prefer. All right, let's sew this. Sometimes on these curves, I just have to go slow so that I can get everything lined up. It's not a race. Oh, I should have clipped this side. I didn't see that I didn't do that. Okay. Gorge. There's one side. Let's do the lining one side. I'm only doing this because it cements the steps in your mind, and it's a smidge faster to just do it in this method. But if I'm messing you up, then ignore me. This week, oh, I just threw clips everywhere. Oop. This is another reason why I like putting the fleece on the lining, is because sometimes it wants to bunch up more easily. So if it does that, we won't see it because it's on the lining. Is that? All right, are we doing the other side now? So we just did F, G, H. Now we're on I. Repeat steps to attach the remaining main panel to the opposite side of the gusset. Okay, here's my remaining main panel. I did my marking here. Here's my center mark there. Laying it down. Top to top. Top to top. Okay, and we'll come around. On these curves, just be easy on yourself. Just get it the best you can, okay? If your friend inspects, if the person you're giving this to inspects your corners, then they're not your friend. Or not. Here we go. It's okay. Look at me talking to it like it's a person. Oh my gosh. There we are. Take all your pins out. Yay, I caught everything. Leave the completed exterior wrong side out. Trim the seam allowance at the corners down to 1/4 inch. Very carefully. I always do that really up close to my spectacles, in good light, and not when I'm feeling impatient. You could also use pinking shears down there if you want those curves to really be smooth, but they look smooth. So I don't think I need to do that. Okie dokie, let's turn our page. We're almost done. Page 16, finish the lining. And this is step 5, finish the lining. We already did some of it. So let's attach our remaining lining piece, just like we just did, center to center. Although this one, I can't see my center mark all of a sudden. There it is. So center mark to center mark. Top to top. If it helps you to spread these apart, you can. I usually don't because I want that seam to be really strong, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to be putting library books in this thing. So I think we're okay. All right, let's sew this down. Did I lose my thread? No, I didn't. Just so gray, it gets lost. Well, this is going to be a nice size pouch. All right. So our seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch, but I take a slightly bigger seam allowance on the lining just so it fits really tightly. I might need to take a bigger one now that I'm looking at this, but let's see what happens. Okay, so be sure to, yeah, our pocket's not in the way, so we're good. Trim seam allowances again, okay. There we go. Okay, we're going to turn our lining right side out and we're going to press it. I don't think my hand came back here. We used it at Open Sew and I'm not sure where it went. I'll find it later. If you have a hand, it can help to press these corners out and whatnot. Okay, let's put this together. This is step 7. We're completing the pouch. Part A, first we have to find the centers of the top of our pouch. So I'm going to mark this with a pen really quick within my seam allowance and show you how this looks. We're going to take our zipper panel and we're going to right sides together align center with center. So mine is there. I'm going to throw a pin in there. And then this center with this center. Oh my gosh, where'd my pen mark go? Okay, so do you see that? The zipper is facing in, right sides together. In these black and white diagrams, that can be hard to notice. So just slow down a sec and take a minute. Okay. We're going to baste in place along the top edges. Back stitching is just in my habit. I'm going to turn my stitching length back down. Okay, that was part A. Now we're going to open the zipper. So I love these number 5 zippers because you can just kind of reach in and open it. B, open the zipper completely, letting the assembled zipper drop in towards the base. Repeat to baste the remaining half. Oh, I already did that. I did both at once. So I did A and B together. Woo-hoo. Tuck both zipper ends neatly down into the exterior. So I'm just tucking that down in there. Tucking this one in here. So this is how it's looking. Now I've got to turn the page of the pattern, page 18, letter D. Place the assembled lining into the assembled exterior. Oh, aligning all the seams. Okay, here we go. So first I'm going to match those gussets. I'm going to nest the seams. So one seam will go one way, the other seam will go the other way. Now I'm going to do this side. Sometimes the seams just want to lay one direction versus the other, and I try not to fight it. If it wants to do that, then fine. Yeah, like those definitely did want to do what they wanted to do. Now we're just going to put clips all the way around. Now what's this guy's problem here? There. Okay. Seam allowance of the exterior will be pressed towards the side panel. Okay. And seam allowance. Let me make sure I did mine right. Yep. Well, that one I needed to switch. Mine doesn't want to lay like that. So I'm just going to disobey and let it do what it wants. I hope it still is okay. We'll see. In and sew along the top edge. 1/2 inch seam allowance here. Okay, so I'm going to sew around the top and we're going to pull it through the lining bottom. What I like to do is just open a little bit in the bottom, and then I don't leave it open because then the fabric is trained and it works a little better for me. So here we go. See that previous stitching? I'm just outside or inside of that. It's so it won't show, because that is where we attached the zipper panel. You'll have to stop and start to readjust your pouch as you're sewing. Okay, I'm back to the beginning. Now I'm going to pull the lining through. And I'm going to open a smidge in the bottom here. There we go. And we'll pull the bag through. I'm going to tuck this under and sew this closed before I push the lining back into the exterior. Here we go. If your machine doesn't like the layers, just cut away that fleece on this opening. I'm definitely going to have to press the heck out of this. I need my mini iron warmed up, so because it's a smaller, you know, it's a nice large pouch, but I need my mini iron. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm not even sure we need to do a snap on those zipper tabs. I really don't think it needs it. Let me see if I can get this big mama in here. Oh, wow, would you look at that? cool. It does need some pressing though, for sure. Let me see if I can do it like this. So these can go down in here. Now she has you snap them on the end right here. So I'll show that to you, but I don't think it's 100% necessary if you don't have a snappy thing. So here's the pouch, and these zipper tabs, these on the ends, in the pattern, she has you snap it. Do a snap here on each end. So there's the plover pouch. And this is size large. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace up sewing.